This is Seattle Real Estate Radio with your hosts, Christian Nossum and Dan Keller, mortgage expert with New American Funding. For the next hour, you'll learn impactful insider information as Christian and Dan teach about the ins and outs of Seattle's real estate market. Now, here's Christian and Dan.
Hello, and happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back. This is Seattle Real Estate Radio here on KKOL 1300 AM. I am Christian Nossum, and this is my compadre this week.
Compadre.
Every week, Mr. Dan Keller.
Dan Keller with New American Funding.
MLO number
115349. I'm kind of getting that down.
We're supposed to say that every time.
Gotta say it. Gotta keep the big dogs in compliance, in the compliance department happy. But hey, no, it's good to be here. Back at you again, whether you're at home. I say this every week because
but it's true.
I get the feedback during the week. It's hey, I was on the treadmill and we were listening to you, or
using
hey,
iHeartRadio,
yeah,
or whatever.
Using iHeart. Yeah. I was in just working away in the cubicle, and we had you on the radio, iHeartRadio, and. So, hey, wherever you're at, appreciate you joining us. I know Christian tried bowing out today, though. He tried actually checking out. He did not want to be here. He's not feeling good.
I had a Bob Euchre moment where I just wanted to say bad words sometimes, and that's,
It's
just
all
not
good.
feeling it today, man.
Yeah.
I'm just feeling like crap.
It's
I'm a
cold
little under the
season.
weather,
So here's the thing. I may just step up and take over today. If I see him down in the dumps... over there across the table, I may have to step in.
I'm not that bad.
No,
It'll be fine.
We need your real estate minute. So you gotta be here, man. You gotta wake up. I'm gonna give you about 5 minutes. You gotta bring your A game, brother.
All right. It was a tough week, man.
Yeah.
Last week and last weekend, I worked my booty off.
Yeah, you did.
And I'm worn out.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's catching up to me now.
Well, you're slinging homes. You're selling homes like crazy.
Yeah, it's kicking my butt.
Yeah.
Physically.
A lot of techies. Well, I mean, I know you sell more homes than just the ones that I work on, but man, we're working with a lot of. I mean, we've got a mutual. I'm doing the mortgage for one of your clients that is coming from Facebook. Another one, Google. Tableau, right? So, and I've been reading some things on. Am I saying that right? Tableau.
Yeah.
They're growing like crazy.
They are. Yeah, they just announced that they're going to do another 1,500, or they're just buying another building or leasing another building that's going to allow another 1,500 employees down in Fremont. So they have, I don't know how many total. I think they're going to have like 3,000 or space for 2,500 to 3,000 employees in Fremont, and then another, I believe, 1,000 in Kirkland.
Goodness sakes.
So they're doing the same thing that the other smart companies are doing that want to have urban campuses. I mean, Google's doing the same thing. I mean, I think they have 1,000 or 1,500 in Fremont. Facebook's moving to Westlake, and they're going to have, I think, 1,500 to 2,000 employees there. Yeah. And then obviously Amazon's in South Lake Union, and they're ginormous. So, I mean, you add up all of these highly paid, very smart, very educated people that are working in the heart of the city. Yeah. And again, that's why real estate prices are going up. That's why there's tons of competition. That's why we have all these people moving from out of state that want to live in the heart of Seattle. And if you're smart, you're getting in on that train early because prices are going up because of it. It's not slowing down anytime soon. It's just not. Interest rates are too low. Prices are comparatively to other parts of the country. I mean, a lot of people are moving from California. Yeah, it's cheap here compared to there.
Yeah, and that's the great thing is a lot of these people are relocating from California, where they're not relocating up from Texas, where prices are you can get a little bit more for your buck down there. They're coming from the San Jose area and in parts of California where we're talking 1.2 million, 1.4 million gets you nothing.
Yeah, gets you a little teeny shack.
Yeah, and you're sitting through traffic for an hour and a half a day.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Seattle is very, very attractive right now. But speaking of Amazon, and we're working with, obviously, we always have Amazon employees in our pipeline working with them. And that's because of something that you and I, we put this together, about a year and a half ago, where we went in and there's one of our favorite restaurants where you and I've met a lot before, the Cactus.
Yep. Cactus.
Down to South Lake
South
Union.
Lake Union branch, which they're all over the place. Bellevue.
Well, they've sponsored one of our shows before. Yep.
Exactly.
So we rent out the entire upstairs and we just open it up. We initially started opening it up just to Amazon employees. Hey, come out for a 1.5 hour mixer. We're going to teach you how to qualify for a home or purchase a home.
I think it's actually only an hour.
Yeah,
I mean, we stay around for an hour.
It ends up being like a
afterwards.
3-hour event because people stay around and they network
and chat, drink and eat.
It's kind of turned into a really neat little mixer, a little neat gathering we put on it's about every other month, I would say, because it's really hard to do
sometimes every 3 months. Yeah, I bet it's
So we've got another one coming up here in February, and
February 17th. You can, if you want to come, you definitely have to register. You can't just show up because we fill up. And if you are one of the walk-ups, you're not going to get a seat, and we do run out of seats.
We fill up, but the bigger thing is we put together some really good information for everybody to leave with. And we do fill up, and we've had a couple where we had some overflow traffic, and it's a tight room. We like to cap it at about 24, maybe 26.
I think we've had 36, 37 people that showed up. And they were standing up in the back, and that's not what we want. So that's why we definitely encourage you to sign up. If you do want to go, it's beersandhomebuying.com. Super simple. Beers, like the alcoholic drink. Beers, the word and, homebuying.com. Beersandhomebuying.com. It's a simple website. The sign up is right on the bottom. Name and email. That's all it takes.
Yeah, you can watch a short video down below of you and I kind of explaining the introduction process to getting started looking for a home. But super informative. We talk about everything from we don't go really, really deep. But what we do is we give you the information that you need to know. We get you at least pointed in the right direction. And the really great thing is, yes, we're hosting it, and yes, I fund mortgages, and yes, you're a real estate agent. It's not a pitch and promotion show about us.
It's really just education.
It's
getting you up to speed on the market and what it takes to buy a home and what the steps are. And it's only an hour long. That's why we do it that short, so that you can get in and out. If you need to get home or you don't want to hang out, you don't have to. But we do provide drinks and food. And it's fun.
Well, one of the things that I'm going to really look forward to you, I look forward to hearing it from you every single week when we do the real estate, your real estate market minute. But what you do is you share with these young, some of them, most of them are first-time home buyers, but we do have people that are repeat, move up or move down buyers that show up
and
now.
The thing is, they're not always young.
No, you're right. Well, we've kind of expanded it. It's grown from just Amazon employees, which when you think of an Amazon employee, you are. Our audience typically is in their mid-20s to the early 30s. But one of the great things that you share, Christian, is you've kind of put together, well, you and I combined, I think I play a big role in it, but you've put together a really good strategy on how to win in a multiple offer situation without having 100% cash
or even a
20% down payment. And I think when you start getting into the nuts and bolts of that strategy, you start opening some eyes, because there's a lot of people that come and they're like, well, we just haven't bought because we don't have a huge down payment. So
you don't need it.
No, you don't.
And and then people's thought is, this is what I hear all the time, and tell me if you hear this too, but what I hear all the time when people say, well, I don't have 20% down, I don't want to, or since I don't have 20% down, I feel like I'm contributing to another real estate meltdown or something similar to that. They're like, well, isn't that just why the real estate bubble burst before, because people didn't have 20% down? No, it burst because if you had a pulse, you could get a freaking mortgage.
Yeah, anybody could, And
we just watched, what's that? The Big Short.
Yeah.
Have you seen that yet?
No, I wanted to go see it when I was in the movie theaters.
So it's still in. We just saw it last Friday. So it must still be in the theaters. But anyways, that kind of explained it.
Yeah.
I mean, there were people in there that probably shouldn't be owning homes, and they were like, yeah, I own 5 homes and a condo, and I have a...
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, and I've seen it, man. Before I got into the financing in 2008, 2009, there was, and there still have been, a lot of friends and people that I've known that bought homes that had no business buying homes. Or the type of home that they bought.
Exactly. And that is not the case anymore.
No.
You have to actually qualify for a loan now.
Yeah.
So... it's kind of an education process with anything. Going, you don't need 20% down. That does not mean that you're going to make the real estate market burst.
Yeah.
There's not a bubble because of that. You actually have to qualify. It's a very stringent process now. It's not like it was before.
Yeah.
So
it's just, we do a good job letting people investigate on their own and figure out on their own if this is a good time for them personally to buy. We could say, as a whole, it's a great time to buy because of low interest rates, because of home values. But no, each particular person's different, depending on where they're going to be, depending on what they're paying for rent, depending on their commute, depending on a lot of things. And so you bring a lot of those items to the surface for people to consider. And then
if it works for them, great.
If it works.
If it doesn't, no harm, no foul.
Yeah. So speaking of really great things that you bring up, talk to me about the market. Let's hear the awesome Nossum real estate minute.
Well,
market minute.
I mean, I'm kind of feel like a broken record a little bit, because what I like to do is I like to kind of give you an insight into the trenches, what's going on, what I'm seeing on a week-to-week basis. And it's still, I mean, it's still busy. There's still lots of buyers. There's a little bit more coming on the market. But one of the big things that I want to go over, is that one thing that you really got to pay attention to when you're looking at buying a house, even if you don't have kids, is the school districts. Because maybe you don't have kids and maybe you don't care, but when it comes to resale, and that's something that I'm always preaching, always think resale whenever you're buying. And that's what I'm looking at whenever you're looking at houses. Schools is a big deal. I'm bringing this up because my daughter's, I got to register her for kindergarten this week. That's the first time I've ever had to do that. So
and look into where she potentially will be going.
Well, we did that before we bought. I mean, that's obviously it's in the front of my mind. But it's something that everyone needs to really pay attention to. And even if you only have like a baby, you never know what life throws you. You might end up staying at a house longer than you thought. And even though you maybe think, hey, well, we're only going to be here for another 3 years or something like that. Well, maybe you don't. Maybe things change and you're going to stay there for a while longer. But it's something to definitely pay attention to.
Inventory is still low.
It's still low. It's starting to slowly creep up. There's a little bit more, but it's still low. So I mean, when you're looking at schools, though, greatschools.org. That's a great website to look over and kind of get a good feel for how schools are rated. It's kind of a general overview. It's not going to give you the end-all, be-all, but you should always talk to people in the neighborhood and get an idea on stuff. So when we come back, because we got to take a break, we are going to have the owners of Sip and Ship, which is down in Ballard, and they also have a Fremont one. So we're going to talk with them about being in those neighborhoods. So stay tuned.
Seattle Real Estate Radio with your hosts Christian Nossum and Dan Keller continues after this. Time for more Seattle Real Estate Radio with your hosts Christian Nossum and Dan Keller.
Hello, and welcome back to Seattle Real Estate Radio here on KKOL 1300 AM. We are here every Monday from 3 to 4 p.m. And yes, it is Monday. As much as some people don't want it to be Monday, it's Monday.
It's Monday.
It happens. Mondays happen.
It is. Every Monday we're here.
So today, we are here with some pretty awesome people. So I'm going to let Dan take over.
Yeah, some really great local people. I say this, they are the owners and lovers. It's a husband and wife team, and these guys are a hoot. You're gonna love listening to them today. But Diana and Stephen Naramore, correct, are here. They are the owners of Sip and Ship right here in
Phinneywood, Ballard. They got
Ballard.
2 locations. So
2 locations. We're going to learn a little bit more about that. But I want to give you kind of an intro. We like to intro our guests because I've been guests before on shows and had to introduce myself, and it's just kind of awkward, bragging about yourself. And
no one likes that.
And really calling yourself a lover. I mean, I'm here with my lover, so I'm going to do that today. But so Stephen grew up in Rochester, New York. He attended college in Ohio, where he majored in theater arts and English literature. Stephen worked in the cruise industry, where he met his lover, Diana, in Los Angeles. They fell madly in love with each other, and they moved their family to Seattle, and shortly thereafter opened up Sip and Ship. So Stephen is currently the CFO, Chief Financial Officer, of Sip and Ship. Diana, she grew up in the inner cities of Chicago, Illinois, and Detroit, Michigan, and earned her Bachelor's of Science degree from the University of Phoenix by attending night school. I love that. Love that hustle. Her days were spent working in management and customer service and sales for Princess Cruises. She is a mother of 3 boys, and she oversees the day-to-day operations in both locations of Sip and Ship, the Ballard and Phinneywood locations. Sip and Ship is approaching its 14th year in business. So, first off, congratulations, 1, on being happily married, lovers, and 2, a husband and wife that run a business together. And it's been successfully operated for 14 years. Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you. We're glad to be here.
Yeah, well, welcome too, and congrats. Yeah, so tell us a little about Sip and Ship and how it works.
Well, we started it back in 2002. We had recently moved here, and we'd each left the cruise industry, and we're sort of in search of something. And Seattle was a landing spot for us, but we didn't have any jobs. And Diana got a part-time job at a similar kind of a store up in Queen Anne. And they ended up mentoring us and encouraging us to open up a business. And I thought it would be a great idea to add the coffee element to it because my joke,
Seattle.
Yeah, my joke is you put coffee with anything in Seattle, you're bound to be successful. And it made Diana laugh. And that was kind of the genesis of it. Diana loves logistics. She loves handling things from point A to point B. And I love coffee, and I love doing anything I can with her. And that was how we got started.
So this whole lover thing is not fake. These guys, this is real. These guys, what a story. No, that's awesome. Tell me, okay, so I haven't been to the shop, unfortunately. Christian has.
It's kind of an institution.
It is.
Yeah, it's kind of a big deal.
It is a big deal. Well, that's why they're here. They're here.
Exactly.
So if I have not been in, tell us about Sip and Ship. Like if we were to go into one of your locations, what does it look like? What do you guys do?
Well, the first thing the first store was Ballard. That was what we opened originally, and the first thing you're going to notice is there's a Dutch door when you walk in. So it's a great spot for summertime, and it has a wonderful feeling, wonderful way to kind of welcome people in. But the first thing you're going to see is you're going to see gifts and cards right in front of you. There's different types of wines that we now offer as well. To your right, you're going to see the shipping counter, and the shipping counter is unique in its own respect because it has open mailboxes, kind of similar to kind of an old trading post type of a feel. Okay. Not like the ones with a key, a lock and a key. We don't have a 24-hour access type of an approach to this business. Cool. But and then a library ladder goes along the front of them. So someone comes in, they say, I have box number 115, and we get the library. You climb up the ladder and get them the mail. So it's a way that we've always the way we wanted to approach it was getting to know our customers face to face. So eventually, obviously, you walk in the door, we'll recognize it's you and say, "Oh, here's your mail," and welcome them into the store. And then at that point, you get to offer them a cup of coffee, or maybe if someone's birthday's coming up, you can pick out a card. Most of the gifts that we have in the store are mailable, so we can put it in a padded mailer and send it off, and you can hit a lot of different items on your list.
What is the best cup of coffee you guys serve in there?
Diana,
the best drink?
What do you think?
Diana.
Well, our drip is amazing. So we offer 2 types of drips. We have a dark roast, which is called our diner blend. Okay. And then we have a more Sumatra flavor, which is our medium roast. But I have to say, our lattes are pretty amazing. And we have, being in Seattle and surrounded by coffee, you sort of become, you cater your services to your customers. And we are experiencing a lot of customers that have milk substitutes that they want to try. So we're sort of dabbling in that, and we've recently introduced hemp milk as an alternative, in addition to all the other ones that we have. Haven't done coconut yet, but...
So I'm a coconut guy. I use coconut creamer in the morning in my coffee.
We do almond milk.
Yeah.
Almond milk, yes. Yeah. Almond milk is very popular.
Yeah, I use the vanilla-flavored coconut creamer, and I'm a fan. I used to use soy. And I don't have anything against milk. I'm not allergic. I just...
Yeah.
didn't want to use half and half, so I use that. But Right on. Okay, so I got to swing in there.
I know.
Because I'm a drip guy, so...
Yeah, so am I.
Well, and I think from the coffee perspective, originally we realized we weren't going to put up a couple air pots in the corner.
Yeah.
Because you just can't get away with that in
Yeah.
Seattle. I think if we were doing this somewhere else, maybe you might be able to do that. And I have seen other mailbox stores that actually do that. But in Seattle, you have to, we have the La Morzocco machines. We've got all of the equipment, to basically make ourselves legitimate that we're really offering, a quality cup of coffee or latte.
I love it. One of the things that I wanted to ask you is, have you guys noticed a change over time in regards to people using coffee places to do additional things? Have you seen any maybe competitors pop up? I mean, 14 years is a lot of
It's a lifetime in small business land.
Yeah, especially around here. I mean, I see it just in my short 6-7 years in being in finance. See a lot of people. I write a recognized mortgage blog. So many people have tried to copy, and I see my publications verbatim copy and pasted.
Yeah.
Are you guys seeing anything like that? Any other shops, any other businesses try to pop up to hybrid of maybe yours?
Absolutely. Not of ours, not like a sip and ship. Although many years ago somebody did try to open up something, and he actually came and talked to me, and I said, I encourage, go ahead and figure it out, do something. Yeah. And then he ended up, he wanted to call it sip and chip. And so like, no, we can't do that, but call it mocha and mail or something. Yeah. But there's always competition. I mean, that's something that we learned pretty early on. There's always going to be something out there where someone's going to try to kind of capitalize on something that you're doing. But just the coffee shops in general. I mean, we exist because of a Starbucks, and because that community kind of feel is out there. So we exist because of that. Certainly, there's a lot of other coffee shops out there that do fantastic jobs. And we were just talking a little bit ago about the advent of Wi-Fi, and that really didn't exist so much when we first started, and now it's everywhere.
I was going to ask you guys that. How has Sip and Ship evolved over the last 14 years? So how it started versus where you're at now. So
Wi-Fi for one, definitely. I mean, that was something we didn't do, and then we started it, and then it was something people were saying, well, you got to pay for it, or you've got to have a different
passcode,
like different key every day, which was kind of
annoying.
Yeah, so now it's an open spot, for people to do. So but you go by places, Cupcake Real, Bauhaus, which is actually recently
Mighty
closed.
Donut.
Mighty Donut. You see everybody in there with their laptops.
Fiore,
they're all really pervasive, and that's where people are going to go to do a lot of work and hang out.
I think this is a brilliant model. I just spoke at on a marketing call. It was for a company, and they wanted a guest speaker on marketing and sales. And one of the things I talked about was the two key components of successful businesses. One is great marketing, and two, innovation. And you're super innovative. You took an idea, a model like Starbucks, with a little bit of innovation, and now you've got Sip and Ship. So I love it.
Yeah, I think just also that it's a three-pronged business. So it's, coffee, gifts and cards, and then shipping. And they all kind of feed off of each other. But they're all going to have highs and lows. Coffee's going to suddenly get super expensive. And fewer and fewer people are going to be using coffee. But so that may dip a little bit. But maybe mail will come up, or gifts and cards will have their own, depending on what kind of things that we have.
Well, and we have seen trends change, especially in our neighborhoods where the buildings have buildings have gone up, and more condos and apartments have arrived, and so it's shifted our shipping business to catering to customers who do a lot more online shopping, and they need the security for their packages instead of having them land on their porch and being abandoned or gone missing. They will come and use our services so that we can secure their packages for them, and then they can come pick them up at their convenience, as well as the prepaid returns too. So we host something that we didn't see coming a few years ago, and it's really hit significantly over the last 2 years. I think we've really seen an increase in that.
Yeah, that was something that when I saw that on your website, because I didn't know you guys did that. But why don't you explain that for people that don't know what you're talking about with the prepaid shipping or returning stuff for Amazon or whatever?
Right. I think the largest two that we service at the moment, and it grows every day, is Amazon and Zappos. I think those are two that people can relate to immediately, where you can essentially buy several pairs of shoes with Zappos and try them on in your home, and then decide that you only maybe want one of the four that were delivered to your house. So you would then put them back in the box and bring the box to us. And if you were unable to print your label at home, we could print that for you. And certainly our tape is always free, so we would rapidly tape it up and put a latte in your hand, and you're on your way.
Exactly. I mean, it's a great way to get people in the door and to just hang out. And when they're there, that's the hardest part. Half the time is just getting people in the door. Once they're there, they're going to start looking around and go, oh, yeah, I do need another bottle of wine.
Right.
Oh, yeah. It is Grandma's birthday coming up.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Hey, that'd be great if I could have my packages shipped here.
There you
So
go.
I don't have to worry if that new computer I just bought that's getting shipped on Amazon in 2 days, is that going to be sitting on my doorstep and someone's just going to...
And all these people here are so nice and friendly.
Okay. Well, that's pretty awesome. I mean, this is why I love their idea. I love the whole community aspect of it too, and that's what I want to go into next a little bit.
Sweet.
So, stay tuned. We're gonna have more from the owners of Sip and Ship here in just a minute on Seattle Real Estate Radio. Stay tuned.
You're listening to Seattle Real Estate Radio with your hosts, Christian Nossum and Dan Keller. We'll be right back. We're back with Seattle Real Estate Radio with your hosts, Christian Nossum and Dan Keller.
All right, hey, we are back with Diana and Stephen. Steve, what do you go by, bud?
Usually Stephen, but
Stephen?
that's fine.
Stephen?
Either way.
They are the owners of Sip and Ship, and we had a great conversation with them before we went to break, and man, I'm excited to learn a little bit more. Christian's been into their both of their locations. I haven't yet, and so I may have to swing by on my way home.
I know.
You know?
You do.
I know.
Pick up a bottle of wine at each one, just to
Wine?
even it out.
I thought it was coffee.
Oh, yeah, we got that too.
Do you guys serve alcohol in the store?
No, we don't. We only sell it by the bottle. But occasionally we'll have a little tasting.
Could someone open a bottle in the store and sit down and drink it?
I wish. No.
Well, he's asking because he does that.
I'm that guy that would go into your store, buy a bottle, pop it open, and just start pouring for
He doesn't even have anything to mail. He doesn't have anything to pick up. He's just gonna pop
Well,
it.
if he had to mail a bottle of wine, we are probably one of the only licenses in Seattle that can do that. So you would be in luck.
So that's big to know.
Yeah.
That's big to know. I've been shut down before sending a bottle of wine to a client. And I guess one of the only ways I found out to do that is you got to go online and you got to order through a company that ships. So that's huge to know. That's my big aha so far. And we didn't even mean to talk about that. So
just me joking around,
talking about
which I tend to do.
You're a wino over there.
Hey, we need to have a winery on here. We'll talk about that later. But anyway, so tell us a little bit more, Christian.
All right. So you guys have two locations. The Ballard one opened 2002. That was your first one. So tell us about the second one and when that opened and how that came about, why, and...
Well, the second one, once you start your first business and it's going along and it's certainly not easy, but it seems to be growing and going in the direction that you want it to. Everyone starts, when's your next one gonna open up? It's kind of like children, your first one, when's the next one coming?
Just like when you get engaged, when's the wedding?
Exactly.
Then you get married, when's the kids? And it's the same.
All the pressures.
Yes, exactly.
Plenty of pressers. So the Ballard store was doing really well, and we were looking for that possibility. And we came across, there was a smaller, kind of older, established mailbox store that had been there for a long time up in Greenwood. And he wanted to sell. So we stepped in and we said, we'll do that. And so we purchased his business and moved it about a block down just north of 85th, which into a very large location, about 3,000 square feet.
Wow.
And it ended up being a tough go. Well, that all happened in 2008, right when the crash or everything. So everybody was struggling, but we're proud to say that we weathered 5 years of the lease. We made it through. And at the end, we weren't exactly sure what was going to happen, but another piece of property came available closer to Phinney Ridge. And that was about 10 blocks towards Phinney. And we were able to secure that location, and by moving it to that location has made all the difference. That was in 2013, the summer of 2013.
Yeah, that's a totally different feel, even though it's only 10 block difference.
Yeah.
Totally different neighborhood feel.
Right, and what we learned is that about 70% of our customers were making the trip from Phinney across 85th to come to us at that time, and now we're right in their front lap, essentially,
exactly.
and we're getting all those customers, and then all the other people maybe who hadn't tried us are now
Who
coming.
didn't want to go 10 blocks.
Exactly.
Yeah, now
exactly.
it's...
So
yeah.
that's been exciting for us since the summer of 2013. It's really started to grow and doing the things that we were hoping it was going to do from the very beginning.
So I actually haven't been to that one, but is it a pretty similar setup then as the Ballard one?
It is. It's smaller.
Okay.
It's a building that has two spots in it. So we're 1,000 square feet, and then right next to us is a salon, which also has 1,000 square feet. So it's about half the size of the Ballard store,
But it can do everything that Ballard could do.
It does. It does it all. It does the same thing. Yeah.
And better. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah. Well, they're on our tail, that's for sure. We have a very strong crew team up there, and they are making a significant difference.
That's awesome. Yeah, the employees make a big difference. As you guys know Dina. who I
Yes,
just, I just
love
hired
Dina.
her. Yeah. So I think that's going to be a good hire for me.
I think so.
Yeah, so I
Very
just hired her
lucky.
as my assistant. I haven't even told
Very
you
good.
that, Dan. So,
Yep.
yeah, anyways.
Watch your back, Dan.
So we kind of touched on this last segment, but I wanted to go over it a little bit more because this, I think, is a big deal overall for real estate, for anyone that's listening, just to kind of go over how the demographics have changed for either location, both locations. I guess for the Phinney Ridge, Greenwood one, it's more probably a little different because you switched locations, so that was probably a bigger change in who was coming in. But maybe for Ballard, which has kind of been there for years now, 13, 14 years. 14 years, wow. Yeah. So what's the demographic been like? What's the change been like in the type of customer that's come in, and what have you seen? I'm stumping him.
Well, I think Ballard, when we first opened Ballard, that was it was still the spot where it's a great spot for a first-time home buyer. You were going there, and that was a great spot to find that. It was young families.
Yep.
And the town was very sleepy still.
It
It was
was-
very much known as the fisherman's town.
Yep, very
But it was
Scandinavian.
Very
Yeah.
Scandinavian,
Yeah.
super charming.
The ceiling levels had just been changed a few years. I'm not sure the year when that happened.
I don't even know
But
that,
you know
yeah.
where it said, but the word was out that was the place that you wanted to be because there's going to be a lot of development. Somebody described it to me once as vertical population is coming to Ballard.
Yep.
So that was one of the reasons we sought out that location.
Smart.
But still, at that time in 2002, 2003, very, very sleepy, quiet for the most part. And then obviously things have just kind of steamrolled since then. So now it's it's not really necessarily a first-time buyer's area. There used to be condos.
Yep.
There's fewer condos now. More apartment living. It's more.
It's young families now and young executives, workers who come and live there in their apartments and then bus it downtown if they need to, or they walk to work or bike to work.
Yeah, and right across the street is Swedish Hospital, which mind-blowingly was going to be closed. I don't know how they made that decision, but obviously somebody smart decided, no, we got to keep this. And that's just kind of been growing leaps and bounds as well.
Yep.
On the street just behind us, there's has to be 3 or 4 more projects that are happening, and that's happening on every street, it seems.
I actually
in Ballard.
counted the projects that are just directly behind us. So from Market to 65th, up where Ballard High is, there's 12 places that are under development within a 2-block radius, just going straight up,
Going straight north.
Yes.
straight north.
That's crazy.
12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's that's been Ballard, and everybody's kind of well aware of that. It's still a very hip, great spot to be. Great restaurants, great bars, great services and
lifestyle,
things like that.
yeah.
It's definitely a fun
So
spot.
so one spot or one thing that I want to point out is that you guys did what I am telling people to do all the time. You saw an opportunity. You saw, hey, we're looking at where we want to put our roots, our business roots. I'm talking more family roots, but
Yeah.
where do we want to put our business roots? Okay, well, what are the different neighborhoods? Ballard, they just raised the height limit on buildings. Let's go there. There's going to be development there. It's the same thing that I'm talking about. Before you guys came on in the first segment, we were talking about how Tableau and Google and all these tech companies and Facebook and Westlake, how they're all moving to urban centers and growing and expanding, and how that is an opportunity for people to get a better deal on real estate, or to maybe not necessarily get a better deal right now, but long term.
Right, start planning for it.
Exactly. So you got to look ahead at what's going on and what's happening. And that's what you guys did. So it doesn't mean anything coming from me, but congratulations on doing that. That was smart. That was really smart. And that's what I'm preaching all the time to people. It makes a big difference. So that's, I think, a big reason why, maybe not big, it's part of the reason why I think you guys were so successful for having a small business in a little neighborhood. I mean, it grew massively, so you were smart. So good job.
Yeah, well,
thank you.
We got lucky in many respects, we feel. I mean, we were kind of directed in the right way. We've got some good advice. And it's like investing. You want to look at all the indicators and understand, what's going to position yourself to the best area.
Spoken like a true CFO.
So describe, well, I was going to say describe the feel of Ballard and describe the feel of Phinney and kind of how they compare to each other. Would you say that they're pretty similar? If someone was looking to move to either neighborhood, would you say they're pretty similar? Is Phinney a little more family-oriented, or what's the feel in your opinion, since you guys are in the business and in the neighborhood every day?
I'd say Phinney's almost kind of San Francisco-like, with there's more hill. Obviously, you're on a ridge, and you've got a little more hills and things like that to deal with. Ballard's a little more expansive. And there's just the amount of building that's happening in Ballard, which people kind of lament, but from a business perspective, it's I think it's fine. But I think
what they do have in common, though, is they're walkable neighborhoods.
That's a big deal.
Huge deal, and they all have wonderful restaurants and places to go. You really don't need to leave your neighborhood in most cases to get something done, because they have. Both of them have wonderful markets, and there's Ken's Market on the Ridge. There's banks. You can go to your Ace Hardware or whatever you need, and then walk back. We see a lot of families with strollers, and so they pack up the stroller and they get their errands done, and we happen to be one of their stops. So,
well, you guys are in the community. You're embedded in the community, and the chances of somebody listening to this live interview and actively relocating here right now is a little bit less slim, or more slim, than somebody listening to this recording that we send out to our clients or maybe find on online. If somebody's listening to this, what are a couple of your favorite places, like pub or bar, someplace to hang out and just go grab a drink in Ballard?
Ballard. Well, I think
I can answer that.
Okay.
You do that one.
He's such a mic hog, isn't he? Thankfully, he's so good at it.
Theater major.
Right. Yeah. You didn't know what you were doing when you invited us on, did you? I have to say, the Stone Burner in Ballard is amazing, and Bastille is great. Yeah. We love the 74th Ale House on Phinney Ridge. Those are really great places. And our favorite pizza place in the Ridge is the Ridge.
The Ridge,
the Ridge pizza.
Awesome pizza, And we have kids, so.
Yeah, no, that's huge. And you heard it from them. And we always like to, obviously, we are sharing this with all of our clients because we want them to first come and learn more about SIP and SHIP. But it's always great to hear it from somebody that's embedded in the community. So thank you. I got to ask a question real quick, because this is my side of the world. We got about 30 seconds left here. Do you guys notarize?
Yes,
you do notarize.
We do.
Yeah.
Nice.
And we do all kinds of documents. There's not one that we don't do.
That's big for us in real estate and lending.
Oh, yeah.
So no, that's really big.
We need it quite a bit. Yeah. Well, thank you guys very much, both, for coming on. If you haven't been to Sip and Ship, you definitely need to go check it out. Grab a cup of coffee, and we're gonna have to come back and read this. The commercial on there, so
we're
we'll
gonna give
that
another
next.
plug. Absolutely.
Some more. So stay tuned for Seattle Real Estate Radio coming up next.
Seattle Real Estate Radio with your hosts Christian Nossum and Dan Keller continues after this. Time for more Seattle Real Estate Radio with your hosts Christian Nossum and Dan Keller.
Hello, and welcome back to Seattle Real Estate Radio on KKOL Business Radio 1300 AM. Sip and Ship.
Sip and Ship.
They were pretty dang awesome.
Yeah, they were good. That's again, I mean, it's one of the things I love about this show is this is who found Shannon find this?
No, Dina, my new executive assistant, found them.
Awesome.
She goes there.
She goes there.
Yeah. That's where she has a mailbox there. She does all her shipping there.
Yeah.
Grabs coffee there all the time. She knows all the employees.
Love it.
It's like her little networks, her little community hub. And that's what I believe the feel of when you go in there. You'll feel it when you go in.
Yeah.
It is the community hub. I mean, you go in there and you're like, oh, pretty much, I'll go grab a cup of coffee. They're going to know me.
And they know them.
Yeah.
They're present. They're not.
Yeah. They know. Everybody knows each other. It's like Cheers.
That's cool.
Everybody knows you. And you have a little mailbox there, so you don't have to worry about your packages getting stolen. It's awesome.
Yeah. I'm certainly going to have to check it out. I really love when we have a chance to meet these new people and learn their story, these new guests, and learn their story. That one of the great things that we were kind of off the air talking about is which all of us had to deal with if you were in business during the collapse of the economy in 06 to 08, and even the recovery portion was almost as bad as the collapse because nobody wanted to spend money in 08, 09, and 2010. And the fact that they took a leap of faith, busted their tail, grinded it out, and then in 2013, as we all started seeing some improvement in the economy locally, expanded. They saw the need for expansion.
Well, they had already expanded. They moved to Greenwood, which I thought it was pretty telling that their audience, or their clients, I should say, would go 10 blocks. Some of them, about half of them would go 10 blocks, but the other people wouldn't. And if they just moved 10 blocks south, it's all about location. Location. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty telling. And it just kind of goes with what we preach.
Yeah. It does, and they're great people. They're people that I would want to do business with. They're people that I want to hang out with and introduce to others, and obviously that's why they're here. So I really encourage, if you're listening, or if you're listening to this live, check them out. If you're listening to this on a recording,
podcast, or watching the video,
what's up? Check them out. Next time you're in the Ballard Phinney area and you need a cup of coffee, or you're looking for a sit down, check out get online. Stop in.
Need any gifts or birthday cards or whatever?
Or mailing. Yep. Stop in to a Sip and Ship location. So here, I want to give you a little bit more information, then we're going to move on. But Sip and Ship is located in the heart of Ballard and Phinneywood. Sip and Ship has become Seattle's best one-stop shop. When guests arrive, they are pleasantly surprised when they discover that they can not only drop off their prepaid shipping returns, but they can shop for a greeting card or gift, get something notarized or faxed, pick up chocolate or wine, nosh on some freshly baked pastries and sandwiches, and connect with a friend either on their free Wi-Fi or sitting in one of their connection areas, all the while sipping an amazing cup of coffee.
Yeah, they sold that coffee pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it must be good, man.
I know.
It must be good.
And you and I are both drip guys, and it's kind of tough to get good drip. A lot of it's just kind of like me.
Yeah. Well, the other great thing is, obviously we're both in business for ourselves, and we're in the relationship business. So when you sell a home, or when I close a mortgage, I like to send a gift, a thank you. So the fact that they have access to ship a bottle of wine is phenomenal, and chocolate, whatever. So check them out. Sip and Ship in the heart of Ballard and Phinneywood, and obviously we're gonna have all their information on the website. SeattleRealEstateRadio.com.
You got it. So Dan, now that we've kind of gone to another week, what's going on in the mortgage land? What's the latest? Give me your mortgage minute.
You and I, and this is kind of, I don't want to kind of break something that may or may not happen, but you and I have been working really hard on trying to get on TV. I'm not going to say the show because I don't want to spoil anything, but to do kind of a year in review in 2015 and kind of what to expect in 2016 is still
everybody wants to
January, early February. Everybody wants to know. Everybody I can go into a restaurant, a coffee shop, anywhere, and if I bring up the word mortgage or real estate, I have people asking me, "Hey, how is the market? Hey, what's up with rates?"
Exactly.
Right?
That's the one question you always get, and I always get, how's the market? Is it crazy? I heard it's impossible to buy a house.
Yeah.
Which obviously it isn't, because people are buying houses left and right. But yes.
Yeah. So it's really big. And so right now, I think with, you and I kind of trying to work on that, and it's unfortunately what you and I were talking about in 2016 from a financing side, from a mortgage side, economic side. All the economists, and I said this on previous episodes, all the economists, some of the best and most intelligent people in the country said that 2016 expect rates to move up a full point. Okay. And, and I kind of argued it. Well, nonetheless, we're over a month into 2016. We have seen the stock market get off to its worst year in the history. Now, it started out the year the worst in 29 years. Yeah. The worst in the history of the stock market. Yep. Meaning how it started off a new year. So, combined with that, we're seeing the same thing. You've got, Korea over there messing around with an H-bomb, essentially a nuclear bomb.
Potentially, we're thinking maybe they are or not. We're not. Still not quite
we
sure.
Don't know.
Who knows? They say they do, but they say a lot of stuff.
You've got the wild card, which is this ISIS junk, and then, having a conversation with a friend of ours, a successful business person up in Canada the other day, and their dollar's in the tank. So what we're seeing in China, obviously, and China's struggling right now. Poor, very, very bad. That's what's caused our stock market to drop, is what's happening with their stock market. So, Christian, in a nutshell, we're back down in the threes, man. The 30-year fixed rates are down in the threes again. Certainly not what we expected. It happened. We saw a dip last year at the end of January where rates dropped down into the threes, and then boom, jumped up to 4.5, 4.625, and then kind of stayed around there, 4.25 to 4.6 for the rest of the year. So mortgage minute, I'm going to say I haven't started the mortgage minute yet. Here it goes.
That was all an intro.
Here it goes. That was the intro. The mortgage minute is, we're seeing poor global economic news. Last week on Friday, we saw GDP, gross domestic report numbers, again, terrible in the tanks. We're seeing figures, retail sale numbers down. So we're seeing things, economic indicators that just do not support a solid economy. Last Thursday, Janet Yellen, so the Fed met. But pre-2016, everybody was speculating a Fed rate hike. Well, they did. They forced one in early January. Okay, it was forced. We weren't ready for it. Well, Thursday, last week, they were supposed to raise the Fed funds rate again. They didn't. So that proves that it was forced. That proves that we're not ready. That proves, and they even said, if you read the fine print of their notes in the meetings, that they're going to continue to support low mortgage rates through 2016.
Wow.
So take it for what it's worth. If you have, I'm telling my clients right now and anybody that I meet, if you have a 30-year fixed rate over 4% right now, it's a good time to have somebody look at it. I'd love to be the professional that looks at it, obviously. But there's so many things you can do with that. Because here's the thing. If you're 6 years into that 30-year fixed rate and it's 4.125, for example, why not look at a 25-year? Why not look at a 20-year at 3.5%?
Yeah. No,
it might make sense.
Yeah, so it does make a lot of sense.
Yeah. So there's my mortgage minute, man. Keep an eye on the economy. As long as you're seeing this news, rates are going to stay down.
Interesting. Yeah. Interesting.
Yep.
So, let's think about that. How that's going to affect real estate for the next year, for 2016. I mean, I would think that that's just going to continue to go crazy. Yeah. Because it's so cheap to buy.
You got to think about this, Christian. The one thing that low interest rates do to help out your sector, real estate, is it makes housing more affordable. Yeah, nobody's focusing on the appreciation rates right now that are going through the roof. No, because they can afford them.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, so that's the big thing right now. It's making homes affordable.
Yeah. That's crazy. I mean, a half-point jump or even a point jump in interest rates makes such a huge difference in your monthly payment compared to even a $50,000 increase. Or, no, I'm saying increase in equity. In equity. In appreciation and value. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Well, we just kind of blew through everything we were going to say in this segment, but I think this was much more important.
This is why we have these real estate and mortgage minutes. So, yeah.
Exactly. Well, this was a great show today. As we said at the beginning of the class, we got our home buyer class February 17th at Cactus. If you want to sign up, it's beersandhomebuying.com. anybody can come. It's not just Amazon employees. So definitely, if you are in the market, even if you're not a first-time home buyer, come out.
Meet us.
Meet us. Chat with us. Grab a beer. Grab some wine. Have some food. So, beersandhomebuying.com. Sign up. Thank you very much. See you next week.
For more information, visit SeattleRealEstateRadio.com. That's SeattleRealEstateRadio.com. And be sure to tune in again next Monday at 3 for more Seattle Real Estate Radio with your hosts, Christian Nossum and Dan Keller, mortgage expert with New American Funding, right here on Business Radio 1300 KKOL.